Hey, how you doing? With this interview, I kind of want to take a journey through your life and how you got to where you are now.
All right.
If you're cool with that. And
yeah.
they told me you want to do it in English, so we can always, if there's any, we can go Spanish, English, however you feel comfortable. So I'll start in English, and if there, at any point you need to start speaking Spanish, we can do that too.
All right, cool.
I always like to start interviews kind of like the intro to a movie scene. Imagine the movie of your life. That first scene is coming into your childhood home in Miami. What are we seeing? What are we hearing? What are we smelling?
Arroz con gandules, my mom cooking, salsa music. My mom is always playing like salsa music, limpiando la casa, siempre cocinando. That's one thing I didn't get from her. But she always cooks. My mom always cooks and stuff. She always been like the type to put music. Por ella que yo hice música en español, en verdad, porque she's the one who like put me on to everything I know about music.
I read that you're part Cuban, part Puerto Rican. What was it like growing up in a household with both cultures?
Bueno, I went to school here in Miami. I was like born in Miami, and I went to school in Hialeah. So like I say I'm from Hialeah pretty much because I lived there most of my life, and I went to Hialeah Gardens, and I always did music. Like I always liked to write music. I wrote stories when I was little. Like my mom would like always put music, like I said. Por eso yo sé como que de reggaeton, de salsa, all those like old songs that people think I don't know. I do know because of my mom. So.
Do you remember those first musical memories? What are the like early childhood? What are the first musical memories you remember?
The first musical memory wasn't with my mom, but it was with one of my boys from like, he was like a family friend that I grew up with. And he was the only person growing up with me that understood me because he knew that I loved music and I really wanted to do that, even though I was like studying, going to school and stuff. And siempre después de escuela, like we always juntarnos and we would like play guitar and shit. Sorry for cursing, but one day he was going to college and I was still young, like I was super shy. And he's like, oh, you should perform that Lana Del Rey song that we've been like going over in my class. See if you could do it. And I had never done a show before in front of people. I'm like super shy. I'm even shy right now. But like, if you know me, you know I'm like super shy. And like super outspoken at the same time. Pero yeah, that was my first experience in a college class.
I'm super shy too, so it's all good. I'm introverted in my personal life, and then when I got to do the interviews, I got to tap into a person who feel a little bit more outgoing. But I definitely get it. Do you remember that moment when you decided like I want to be an artist? Like this is what I want to do for my life, for my career.
When I went to LA, that I was going to get signed with Universal Music, I was like, okay, now I have to like really get serious. If this is really what I want to do, I want to sign. That means I really got to like put that work in. So that's kind of like when my mentality changed. And I was like, okay, this is what I want. After signing, there's no going back. So yeah, that's what I wanted always.
When you were 16 years old, you left your home to pursue your dreams. Take me back to that era. Like what was going through your head when you decided to make that choice? I'm sure as a 16-year-old, that wasn't an easy choice to make.
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Like my life wasn't easy either though. So I felt like running away was easier than what I was going through. You feel me? So for some people, it would be like hard because like, oh, you're separating from your mom, your family, you're scared. You don't have money. You don't know what you're going to do. But to me, I didn't care about none of that. I was just like, all right, I know this guy. He's the owner of a studio. He's trying to help me out. He wants to put a studio on the house. I'm like, shit, I'm going to take advantage. If he wants to help me out, I'm going to do whatever I got to do. But I'm not going to be living under nobody's roof if they're not going to like let me do whatever I want. So I decided to rebel. But like, I didn't really like do it out of spite, you know? I just did it because I was following my dreams and I know what I wanted. I don't want to keep waking up every day, go to school and watching other people I'm trying to be around on the TV. Like I'm trying to be with them. I'm trying to be on the TV. I'm not trying to be here or like in school. Hell no.
Do you remember what those conversations were like with your mom when you told her that's what you wanted to do? What was her reactions like?
She always encouraged me. Like, she's the one who told me to sing, and she's the one who always like encouraged me to watch documentaries on hip hop, on everybody, like all the artists that have passed away. I've watched all their documentaries because of her, like everybody. And so she was always very supportive, you know? She was just very protective too, and she didn't understand that like I was already so mature in my head that I could literally be in a studio till 4 a.m., whatever. And she didn't want to like accept that, you know? She didn't want to accept it. So it's okay though.
I can understand that from a parent's perspective, being protective of. Are you only child?
No.
You have siblings?
Yeah, I got some siblings, but like we live apart. I was like the only kid living with my mom at the time. So I was like her baby, you know? So that was even more of a reason to like be protective, you know, not let me do nothing.
Whether consciously or unconsciously, I mean, she named you Mariah for a reason, right? So she kind of projected it into the world that you were going to be an artist.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's like it happened like not on accident. I feel like it was just destined to happen. And I don't try to be like Mariah Carey. I don't be like, oh my God, that's like the reason. I just like coincidentally, my mom named me that. And I love to sing, and I love R&B, and I love music. That's it.
Take me through like your musical DNA. If we were going to like go through the different people that have influenced you and are influencing you now, like what would we see?
Right now, the people who are influencing me have to be artists like Rosalia, Nicki Nicole. I think it has a dope flow. She's super dope. I got a lot of artists right now that I like listen to that I probably don't see them as like, I see them all as inspiration, you know? Like all the artists, I feel like we're all like in it together. I don't see it as a competition. I feel like we're all like family.
What about some of the artists that influenced you when you were growing up?
The artists that influenced me growing up have to be Justin Bieber, Drake, and Chris Brown.
What was it about them that inspired you?
Those three were just like, every day when I got home or like any chance that I had, I didn't have a phone yet when I started listening to like T-Pain, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber. Like around that time I was 11 and I still didn't have a phone. So the only time I would be able to listen to music was when I was waiting for the bus and I put MTV music videos. Yeah, like at 6 a.m. And that's when I would see the music videos. And that's when I noticed who Justin Bieber was. And I was seeing like this little kid with Usher. Then I'm seeing Chris Brown, like the Give Me That remix. Then I'm seeing T-Pain's, and I'm just like, yo, like that's how I want to be. And I know they're guys, but like that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to be.
Where do you think that drive, that hunger came to actually follow your dreams? Because there's a lot of people who look at music videos and think, oh, I want to do that. Or they look at someone on TV and they're like, I want to do it. But they don't actually do what needs to be done in order to get to that space. But you actually thought that and you pursued that. Like, where does that like drive to follow your dreams come from?
Just wanting to like do what I want to do before like I die. Really, that's what it's about to me. Like, if you have a dream, pursue it. Why are you gonna go settle for like 9 to 5? Or no offense to anyone who has a 9 to 5, but if you know what you want, why are you gonna settle? That's how I feel.
I think I read in an interview that you had dreams or you had visions. How do your dreams play into actually like following through?
It's funny because right now I'm actually in my bed. Like, this is like my section in my bed. I know it looks dope. And I have literally under me, this crystal that I bought. This crystal.
Dope.
It's called the Angel Aura Crystal, and it's actually intensifies your dreams and it actually makes you go into like a deeper state of like lucid dreaming. Even though my dreams are already like crazy, you feel me? So like, it's funny. It's dope though. It's lit.
What did you learn about crystals and manifesting things into reality and a power of attraction? Like, where did all that knowledge come from?
I've always liked it. You know, I've heard about it like through my friends, and my mom has always been like positive in that sense. So I've always just been like that. Like since I was little, I've always been like that. Mala, pero positiva.
When was the moment that you knew you had made your mom proud?
Maybe when I got my first platinum record with Perreito. Perreito went platinum and I gave it to her. So she has it like up in her house, así bien grande. So maybe that.
I mean, obviously that was a huge song. Did you know when you were making it that it would have the impact that it had? And what was your inspiration? Because you're a young artist, but with that, you kind of took it back a little bit with the classic dembow sound. Tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind that song.
Well, that song is special. That song is special to me because that song really like put me on the map, I think, in Miami and in a lot of places. But the inspiration was more because I think perreo como en ese momento estaba súper like pegado y estaba bien de moda. Todavía está de moda, pero it was like when Reggaeton by J Balvin had just came out and everybody was on that vibe. So we were looking for something like that, como que algo así que like the old times, you know, like los viejos tiempos como Tego Calderón, y de esa canción yo me inspiré. The one that's called Pa que retosen, that's the song that I got inspired by, like the beat especially, because it's so original. So I just wanted something that was going to be like that, algo original.
Did you know when you made it that it would have the impact that it did?
I know it was going to be big. I hate to sound like that, but I know it was going to be big. You know a hit when you hear it, and tú sabes, like me and Salomon, we worked hard to put that song together, and everybody did. So we knew it was going to blow up.
I read that even your mom knew it was going to blow up. She was like, that's the one.
Yeah, my mom, desde que ella lo escuchó, she's like, yo, Mariah, that song is going to blow you up. She told me.
She's got a good ear.
She's like, this is the one. This is the one.
How's your life changed since that song came out? Did it change like drastically or?
Yeah, my life did change really, because now I can't even go like to the store or nothing because I always see somebody que me reconoce por Perreito. Literally, like sometimes I'll be in Brickell and I'll hear somebody that'll be like Perreito or something like that. It's always like that song in particular. So I'm like, whoa, not one.
I actually talked to Nikki Nicole about this. I know with fame, sometimes it's not all that it's cracked up to be. I mean, some things are good, and then some things you rather not deal with. Like everybody has an opinion on something on social media or whatever. How do you deal with having, the whole world have an opinion on your life, on your music, on how you're dressed? As a young artist, is it hard to process, or are you able to kind of like take it all in one step at a time, or how do you deal with it?
I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, damn, like, what if I didn't read my comments? Even though I have to read my comments and like go through all of them and like them all, try to comment. I'm like, what if I didn't? Like, what if I didn't care what you guys had to say? What if I just did my music and like that? Pero en verdad, I'm so like strong-minded that I know what I'm getting myself into. Like I ran away when I was 16. I don't care what you're commenting about me on my picture. You feel me? It's like, eso no me va a afectar. ¿Me entiendes? Entraste a mi página y me está viendo por algo. So I'm Gucci.
I think that's a good mindset to have. I feel like sometimes people forget that there's a real human being on the other side of those comments, and people would just say just crazy stuff that they would never say.
People say mean shit. People say mean things, bro. Like, and it's always like that one or two comment that you find, like that one or two negative comment is always like some petty ass shit. Like, really, bro? It's funny though. It's more funny to me.
Anyone who has to deal with social media, I feel like sometimes we forget that human beings have feelings, and it's like, hey, that comment could hurt. And I talk to a lot of artists, they could have 10,000 amazing comments. You're the best, love your song. And then they'll see one comment and they'll be like, damn, that kind of hurt. Or like, damn, I kind of feel bummed. So it's a good perspective to have that you could just be able to brush it off your shoulder.
I do. I'm not heartless or nothing, but sometimes it does get to me. But most of the time it's like, keep it moving, whatever.
Tell me a little bit. I think the first track that I heard from you was Blah, Blah, Blah. Tell me a little bit about that song.
The inspiration for Blah, Blah, Blah was Wow, that song was my first song. I was so in love with that song when it came out. I still am. That's like one of my favorites, honestly. Y es un reggaeton, por eso me gusta, porque es un reggaeton. It's like so fun. It's super motivating, like for women. All the girls that I know love it. The guys be hitting me up. They're like, yo, my wife loves that song. My wife be putting that on. I don't know. It's funny. Pero la inspiración de esa canción vino porque estábamos haciendo un campamento con Cromo X Music. Bueno, estábamos haciendo música con él en Puerto Rico, creo que fue. Y hicimos un montón de canciones y esa fue la que queríamos soltar first, because we just thought that was just like a banger. So, y se pegó bien cabrón en Puerto Rico. Like, it got on the radio. And that's the reason why a lot of people know me in Puerto Rico too, por blah, blah, blah.
Do you remember that first time you heard your song on the radio? What was that day like?
Oof. It was surreal. It was surreal. I was like, damn. Like, I was like, when I was little, I would be like searching to hear like my Power 96, wishing that I could be on Power 96 one day. And randomly, when I got in the car, like right when Perreito came out that we were doing the promo, I got in an Uber. And right when I get in the Uber, Power 96 is on, and they're like, oh, something Mariah, la de Perreito, and then boom, they put my song. I was like, okay, normal. It was like, it's crazy, yo. It's crazy to believe.
What does it mean to be a boss woman to you?
To be a boss woman is to be confident, is to be strong, is to be a boss woman is to just be you. Feel me? Just be you. Be a boss.
It's funny. I asked Sweetie that question like 3 years ago. I think she said something similar.
Like, be you.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you don't have to be anyone else. It's like the definition is just do what you love.
Exactly.
A few of the other songs you released recently, you have the one with Guayna. How did that song come together?
Guayna, oof, I miss Guayna. I haven't seen him in a minute.
I just interviewed him 2 days ago.
Oh, for real? Yeah. Well, he's funny. Like, I loved working with him. The video was super fun. All the people that were on set, it was so crazy. Like, all the scenes that we were doing. Él es súper humilde. Me encanta trabajar con él. Súper, like, buena gente. And I liked it. Like, it was like a super long set, pero me gusta porque él estaba ahí, like, todo el tiempo entregado como yo. There's a lot of artists that like work and they're not really into what they're doing. They're just there. And him, he's like really into it. That's what I like.
You also just released a song with Lele. Like, what was that like?
Oof. Sucio Y Lento. That's a hit. And I've been wanting to drop that song for a minute. That's why I'm super happy that it's finally out. Y estamos rompiendo ahora mismo con like más de 3 millones de views en YouTube. So, yeah, go stream that. Y nada, Lele's also a trip. She's funny as hell. She's cool.
What was the inspiration for that song?
Esta canción yo lo hice hace tiempito. Hace como que... It was a minute that I made this song. Like, I make so much music and I just like hope for the day that it comes out. I just make so much that it's like crazy. And this song I had made it like in one of my camps too here in Miami. Y yo quería hacer una canción que era como que yo. Like, I wanted to make a song in Spanish, but that's my vibe. Like super direct with what I say, like things that guys say. Y no sé, como yo pienso, ¿me entiendes? Yo no hago la música tratando de sonar como un tipo or like diciendo algo que a él le gustaría decir. I just say what I like to say, ¿me entiendes? And it's dope. And a lot of people don't understand it. But with this record, I hope they did.
What do you think people don't understand?
They don't understand like my vibe. I feel like there's a lot of people that do, but there's a lot of people that don't. Like, I'm very blunt. I'm very like comfortable with who I am. And sometimes it's too much for people. And the song is so like in your face. It's like Sucio Y Lento, directo sin cuento. It's like como que I'm trying to say like, I'm a boss. Like, you're saying like, oh, how does it feel to be a boss bitch? Like, that's what I'm trying to project in the song, that I'm a boss bitch and I can sit here and say that and you're still gonna leave with me. Period.
What do you think is the biggest misconception people have of you?
I think they think that I'm like self-centered and like stuck up. I don't know. Maybe I even have the wrong image of how they see me. Pero to me, I just feel people think I'm just like all into myself because I only post pictures and I don't post a lot of videos like interacting with people because I'm not that type of person. I'm an introvert and I just decided, well, no, I didn't decide, like the music chose me. So I just had to like not be shy. ¿Me entiende? I'm still shy. So fuck, I just got sidetracked.
We were talking about the biggest misconception that you think, which I can relate to because as an introvert myself, sometimes I feel like when I'm silent or, you know, certain things like people misinterpret it like, oh, he's antisocial or, oh, he doesn't want to interact or, oh, he thinks he's too good or whatever. It's like, I think sometimes people misunderstand introverts when we're kind of kept to ourselves as is like, we think we're better than other people, but sometimes introverted people.
You got to get to know us. You just got to get to know us. If you don't get to know us, you might not like us. Period.
What do you think once people get to know you, they'll find out about you?
Once people get to know me a little more, they'll find out that I'm the one that they've been looking for. Straight up. Straight up. And y'all gonna remember this interview, and this interview is gonna make history, just like all the other interviews that he's done since forever.
Before the interview, I was saying, you know, we could do it in English or in Spanish, and you said that you chose to do the interview in English. Does that mean that you're thinking about making more music in English, or why did you prefer to do the interview in English?
I prefer to do the interview in English because I feel like I don't have to put up like a character, like another persona. And I feel like when I'm talking Spanish, it's like, me tengo que poner como la latina ahora. When in reality, I think in English, I process in English, I talk in English almost 24/7. So I'm like, all right, let me like defend myself, ¿me entiendes? Yo quiero como que defenderme bien. Y cada vez que hago una entrevista en español, me defiendo, pero en inglés, you feel me? It's better. It's better. I get my point across on another level in English that I can't do in Spanish.
I get it. Spanish was my first language, but I moved to this country when I was like 8. So English has become kind of the dominant language that I speak. So it's like sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I did my research. You was like born in London, right?
I was born in London, and then my parents separated when I was like 2 months old. So my mom went back to Argentina to raise me with her family. So I grew up in Argentina until I was like 9, and then I moved to Oakland, and that's where I kind of like learned how to like speak English, and through hip hop and through music is kind of like how I learned to fit in hip hop and sports. So
that's dope. When did you start interviewing like Latin artists? I mean, I know I'm a Latin artist, but I'm not sure if you interviewed like. Oh shit. Yeah, have you interviewed como que mucha artistas latina, or are you just starting?
When I got into hip hop, I was just interviewing whoever was in hip hop, and there weren't that many Latinos in hip hop. So I had over the years interviewed, you know, Cypress Hill and like a few different artists, and like Residente from Calle 13, and like actually because of quarantine, I always thought that I had to interview artists face to face. So I would wait till they come to LA and we would sit in the studio. But now I've been doing a lot more Zoom interviews, and with Zoom interviews, you can interview anyone anywhere in the world. So, literally. And then obviously Spanish is my first language, and I want to support Latin artists. And I felt like just doing English interviews, I wasn't supporting as much as I could, and really helping like young artists, like really have a platform to kind of get to tell their story. So
damn, that's dope.
This last year, I kind of like made a big push to do a lot more interviews in Spanish and interview a lot more Latin artists than I had before. Because before, like, I was one of the first to interview like Kendrick and Cole and Wiz and Mac Miller and like all these different like dope hip hop artists. And I was like, I want to be one of the first to interview, like have a like in-depth conversation with all the like dope, young, up and coming Latino artists and Latina artists. So that's why now I'm doing a lot more interviews in Spanish and with Latin artists.
That's dope. That's lit. I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah, because now we get to talk. If not, we wouldn't have had this conversation.
Literally.
Tell me a little bit. I hear it in the way you talk. Like, how has Miami influenced you? Like, I know you're proud to be from Miami.
Miami, I love Miami. Like, every time I leave, it's like I always want to get out. I always have like this urge and I always want to like go somewhere else, whether it's like New York or LA or like PR. I always like escape. But then I always get sick and I want to come right back because I love Miami. I love Miami. I love Calle Ocho. I love San Enchanted Forest. I love like, ¿me entiendes? Going to Miami Beach, Collins Avenue. A mí me gusta eso. I'm just a Miami girl.
I almost moved to Miami a long time ago. My best friend lives in Miami. But,
Yeah?
Yeah, they wanted me to work for Sony Discos because I was working for Sony here. And I at the time, I just like hip hop was my love. So that's what I was doing. And I ended up not moving. But I love visiting. It's one of my favorite places.
Liddy.
Let me see. Let me make sure I asked you. I have 2 pages of questions, so I just want to make sure I asked you everything. Evie Queen. What does Evie Queen mean to you?
Evie Queen, the pioneer, la leyenda. She's like la caballota, la reina del reggaeton. I admire her. I really do. I love Evie. She's always gonna be the best to me. Like, she's always gonna be the woman who like set the barrier for the rest of the women in the reggaeton. Para mí. O sea, si tú no piensas eso, tú no sabes de la música.
Can we see a Mariah Evie collaboration sometime in the future?
Uy. Puede ser. Si Dios quiere, tengo muchas canciones pendientes. Estoy trabajando una canción. Yo estoy trabajando muchas canciones, man.
I'm sure we have some stuff to be expecting.
A lot of surprises on the way. So
yeah, collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan for that? You working on an album?
I just dropped the EP called Normal, so that's doing good right now. And I'm working on doing launching my first album by next year, hopefully. But for now, I'm gonna just be launching like single records and features.
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote? Do you remember what it was?
Yes, I do. It's funny that you asked me that because I literally remember how it goes and everything, and it's so corny. It's so corny. So corny. It was like, it was prom night, and I had a nice dress. Como que I was trying to say that because I'm here like analyzing what the hell I was saying in the song, and I'm pretty much saying that it was prom night. I had a nice dress. So my friend came over, said she didn't like it, to put on this. Oh, and then the girl that told me that she didn't like my dress for prom, to put on this, that when we got to the prom, she was tirándome la mala. ¿Me entiende? That was the point of the record, and I don't even get that till right now. Pretty much.
It's the haters. It's the haters.
The haters. I seen them since I was young. I already know.
When we have this conversation many years down the lane and you get to look back at your career, what do you think success is going to look like?
Oof, that's deep. I feel like success is going to look like your background right now, like a lot of records on the wall, like a lot of Grammys on the wall, a lot of happiness, ¿me entiendes? Like, I just want to be happy. Like, if I'm happy in the end, that's when I know I succeeded, for real.
What makes you happy?
Being passionate about what I like, and I like music, and I like being passionate. And those two things come with a lot of things, so it's dope. It's lit. My mind is just lit. My mind is lit.
I love it. Any last words?
Any last words? Thank you for the opportunity. It was super nice meeting you.
Likewise.
An honor to meet you and talk to you. So thank you. And I hope we get to talk again, do another interview a couple of years from now or whatever. Good luck to you and stay safe.
Likewise. I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation throughout your career.
Definitely. Same.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Gracias.